All right. Hello, everybody. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who the quote unquote everybody would be in this situation. But my name's Eugene, and I'm joined with Zach and Jonah, and we're just gonna talk about some shit.
Yeah.
I think. Um, all right. So we all saw Batman this weekend,
Yes.
Mm.
and I have been watching a lot of like other people's reviews of Batman and like listening to reviews on like the radio and stuff. It's pretty positive. I feel like most people are into it. But I have noticed that there's like two separate camps regarding like Robert Pattinson's take on Batman. And one side is like, oh, we like his emo-ness. And the other side is like, oh, we don't like his emo-ness. Um, where would you guys fall in those camps?
I personally think a lot of people are hooked on the Christian Bale take of
Yes.
his Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
being playboy, philanthropist, and that whole almost American Psycho take.
Okay.
Right.
Like clean cut, but like there's a darkness underneath.
mhm.
Okay.
I think the emo is great for that character, because there's a lot of emotional unrest and depression in Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
um, which you don't really you really don't see that in the movies up until recently. I think it was definitely a fresh take for them to go that route.
I do think it's super interesting that they chose to wear his sadness on his sleeve, even in Bruce Wayne mode. Like you said, like the other Batman iterations, I feel like they lean more into like, oh, Batman's an actual psychopath because he's completely able to separate his feelings, like his identity. Like he has schizophrenia
Mhm.
like to that extent.
Like they're two different people.
Literal two different people. Yes.
Well, because that's what they are. If you think about it, like that's what
Is
that's
he-
what the movies want to say. Like obviously he knows who his
Yeah.
personality is when he's Bruce Wayne.
Like how mentally fucked up is he? Like in the comics, like is he actually
I
more?
don't think it started out that way.
Okay.
Like initially, I'm not an expert on the comics,
No,
but
me
I
neither.
know
Yeah.
some, and I know from as movies have gone by in the last 30 years, from the beginning of the Batman.
Mhm.
Well, I'm talking about movie wise, not like Adam West TV show wise, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
In the movie wise, like he is Batman and Bruce Wayne at the same time, and now it's over time has evolved into Bruce Wayne is one entity and Batman is another.
Right. Right.
I'm assuming you guys understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, because like he came from caricature, and then he slowly transitioned into this crazy person who has dual identities, and I feel like now with Robert Pattinson, like you said, like he's coming back to more of a human, where like it's hard to maintain two identities, and like it's hard to separate the emotion from actual Batman to sad Bruce Wayne.
Hey, yeah.
And he shows so much when he's in the cowl. He shows a lot more emotion
Yeah.
this time around than most other Batman. I don't know if that's because you can see more of his face, more of his eyes, even with the paint around them.
Mm-hmm.
You just see the pain, the fear in
Yes.
like in his character.
I have noticed that. Yeah.
Have you guys noticed you can see more of his chin now? Like
Mhm.
that wasn't a thing with like the other, like his chin is on full display.
Right. Oh, that's true. If
Yeah.
you go back to Dark Knight, Batman Begins, and Dark Knight, you see there's less of his
It's
chin.
like
It
it's
goes.
kind of covered
Mhm.
up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost squishes like his cheeks together.
And that's why he does the outline.
The lip pucker, like he's sucking on a lemon.
It just always reminds me of the College Humor Batman.
Hmm.
They make fun of him in College Humor.
Yes. No, everybody made fun of him. Like it was such an easy target. It was such low hanging fruit.
It's the over breathing.
Because like yes. I forget. Did he amp it up in Dark Knight? Because I don't think it was as bad in Batman Begins.
No, it wasn't. I have noticed that he amped it up in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
One thing I remember is at the end, the climax, when he's hanging upside down, like off the building.
Yes.
And no, he's not hanging off the building yet.
Wait, who?
No,
Joker?
not him, not the Joker. Sorry, the Joker has him on the ground, and he keeps beating him. And he says, "You know how I got these scars?" And he says, "No, but I know how you got these."
Oh yeah,
And he
yeah,
goes like,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
and he his arm, like little blades come out
yeah.
from the mouth, but you see his face like, "But I know how you got these." But I can't come to hate that because of Christopher Nolan. Something about the way he's directing his actors into doing these things, the way he envisions, you can't be mad at it. You can't think it's weird. It's not weird.
No, well, no. Well, I disagree with that. It's definitely weird. I don't even know if is that Christopher Nolan's decision or was it just like Christian Bale?
I would not give Christian Bale any freedom to do more than he already is. I don't find him bad. I think he's a really good actor. Obviously, he's a method actor. He's definitely a method actor. So I have a feeling because he is a method actor, he had something to do with it. But I don't think that was him.
No, I think it would be more him than Chris Nolan, personally. I just feel like Christian Bale is a little bit more intense.
That's true.
Than
Christopher Nolan's a storyteller more than he is a personal director.
It's hard to tell because you're comparing a director and an actor, so it's like apples and oranges. But
yeah,
I really feel like it's more Chris Nolan, less Chris Nolan, and more Christian Bale.
Okay.
I wanted to say something else. Oh, talking about like his eyes. Like, do you remember the scene where the Riddler is in prison? He's in the cell, and he's talking to Batman, and Batman thinks that the Riddler knows he's Bruce Wayne. Like, there's that like 30-second sequence or like scene where the Riddler's just talking about Bruce Wayne this, Bruce Wayne that.
And then he kept slowly saying, Bruce.
Bruce.
Wayne. Yep. And you think that he knows.
Like, oh shit, he knows. Like, how the fuck does he know? And then like his eyes were like his fucking Batman's eyes.
Like, oh fuck.
We're like, we're like, oh shit, he knows. He fucking knows. And then obviously he says, oh, we almost got him. To signify that like he doesn't know that it's Batman,
right?
He thinks Batman was trying to help kill Bruce Wayne, yada yada yada, and then you could see
because he was the entire time he was actually just jealous, of Bruce Wayne, and not jealous but angry at the fact that only anybody cared about him when his parents died, not the fact that his parents were trying to create a better life for the orphans,
right?
That they only cared about one orphan, the billionaire.
Yeah, the billionaire that lived in this ivory tower and didn't,
quite literally. Actually, you saw that castle.
Yeah.
My God, it was like Gothic. It was American. It was Gothic.
I was like,
it was almost Tim Burton-ish.
Is this from Lord of the Rings? Like what? Like, are we in Elrond's castle? Like, what the fuck is this interior?
Right. And we talk about.
They talked about it though. They brought it up, which I appreciated. They brought up like the whole like privilege thing that Bruce had.
Yeah, and he's just here realizing that his entire life he's depressed because his parents were killed, and now he's a big sad boy. I'm like, wait a second, I'm a fucking billionaire. These children are at least like when Paul Dano, the Riddler, said you wake up screaming because the rats are eating your fingers.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember that. You remember that line?
That would just be. I think that says more about Gotham's orphanages than just being an orphan in general.
Hey, I don't think give a shit about the children.
I don't know if all orphanages are that.
Oh, I wasn't saying that. I was just referencing the movie's quotes.
Oh yeah.
I would say there are a lot of memorable quotes and just visual scenes because they didn't overdo special effects. I don't believe at all. There were no.
If they did, then I did not notice.
There were a lot of practical effects, including the one, including the one in the chase scene where they jumped the car over the semi, or I guess through the semi. Yeah,
that was so good.
All practical.
Oh,
going off that chase though, I think it was a little over the top
You think so?
Only because
That's okay.
I mean,
I think like
you think about
yeah.
going into like oncoming traffic. You know, he was making sure that he's weaving in and out of these cars, these pedestrians,
Right.
but still pretty reckless for like a superhero.
I'm sure there were some fatalities.
That's just
I mean,
for this one guy.
the guy who the semi with the oil, that guy is 100% dead.
Dead.
Oh, there was a couple semis in that wreck. Those guys probably gone.
It's all right. They serve their purpose as a ramp for Batman.
But at least Batman, is going to save some political figures.
Of course,
yes.
yeah. all this to not kill the Riddler, no, not the Riddler, but not kill the Penguin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Reverting gears here, like, literally, actually, to the Batmobile itself. Not over the top, Christian Bale, or Christopher Nolan, crazy big tank thing, which everyone always loved.
It's a straight up muscle car with
Yeah.
a jet engine attached.
Yeah, like a hot rod. It's
Batmobile.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing's one badass machine. It's something that anybody can actually probably create other than the jet engine.
It's really interesting because I feel like Nolan's Batmobile kind of set the standard, and then Zack Snyder also went with Nolan had like a really tanky fucking massive vehicle thing. Let's do that for my movie too. And then the Batmobile in Batman vs Superman is also it's a little bit sleeker. It's not as bulky, but it is also tank status.
Right.
In this movie, I feel like they had a whole meeting. They're like, all right, what can we do to make the Batmobile different? And then one dude was just turn into a muscle car.
Yeah,
literal black muscle car.
Let me take a Mustang and just paint it matte black and just go with that.
I really liked it. I really liked how so there's this one scene where the car is kind of in the shadows and it starts erupting and the lights come on and then it starts growling and I think that whole thing of being in the shadows and just the hinting of something sinister and dangerous in the shadows that's been going on through this entire movie.
Mm-hmm. I think that's part of the character of Gotham itself because especially in the beginning of the movie, they introduced Gotham, and it's, I think, one of the more outstanding characters of this movie.
Yes.
And the darkness is part of that, and it just exudes this terrifying being, that criminals fear.
Yes, it's when you say that, it brings me to the beginning of the movie where there's the whole monologue that he's giving, and during the monologue, it's scenes of these different. You guys remember, right? Scenes different crimes about to happen.
Yeah,
and then every time the criminal they look into a dark alleyway or a dark door or a dark thing, and this darkness of Gotham, like you said, it seems to be there and seems to have this presence, and they're fucking afraid of Batman. That's what they're afraid of.
And I think what's cool about that too, they don't really touch on a lot of movies where it's if there's a crime happening, all of a sudden the superhero's right there on the scene.
Yeah,
but this shows crimes are definitely still happening,
and he's not gonna be there every single time.
He's not gonna be there every single time.
But you're actually sorry. You keep finishing what you're gonna say. Before.
Yeah, but his presence is there, and they're I'm just gonna be on the safe side and just let's just go home.
I don't need to be there. I've instilled so much fear into the criminals and crime that I don't have to be there.
Mm-hmm.
They can just assume that I'm everywhere. I'm omnipresent.
Yeah.
In this one city, though, I'm everywhere. In Gotham, nowhere else.
In Gotham, whether it's
Superman's for.
Yeah, Metropolis or Bloodhaven, they can take they can figure their own thing out. But Gotham.
Superman stays away from Gotham because he knows that Batman can kill him. Batman will figure out anyway.
With prep time.
Yeah. Now, since we're talking about Metropolis, I was thinking this earlier, on the car ride over from Walmart. It's a very specific moment.
You're supposed to say Target so you look higher class.
No, there's a Walmart. It's closer, and I go there because I'm literal garbage. Anyway, Metropolis doesn't have an identity as much as Gotham does. I feel like Gotham, throughout all media, is a lot more interesting, has a lot more character, has a lot more like I don't care what's going on in Metropolis.
It has its
Metropolis
own persona.
is fine. Well, I want to know what's going on in Gotham. Like that's I've always felt that way. And
well, Metropolis is like the chicken noodle soup. It has like really not much going on to it. You pretty much know what you're expecting.
Okay, yeah.
And
hey,
you know, it's got no flavor.
yeah,
it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But Gotham is like it's the French fry you find under your seat after 2 months. I don't know.
Ooh,
it is.
Yes,
it's cold.
It's cold, grimy,
It's grimy, and it's just like.
But it might just hit the spot.
It'll do something. Why did I allude that to a cold French fry? I don't know. I was thinking of something. It's a weird piece of something that could kill you.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to this review on NPR of this movie, and like the guy was talking about Gotham, and he was mentioning how like in Chris Nolan's Gotham, like there's always talk about Gotham, like everyone mentions Gotham, and like, oh, Gotham's this, Gotham's that, like this is going on in Gotham, but then you don't really see that in Gotham. Doesn't look shitty in Dark Knight. It doesn't look that it.
It just looks, it looks like a normal city.
It looks like Chicago is what it looks like. They don't do a very good job at masking
the fact that it was Chicago.
Yeah, that it was Chicago, and like some scenes I think were filmed in Atlanta, but yeah, it was basically Chicago.
The L there the entire time.
I don't exactly remember like what Gotham looked like in like the older movies, like with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, with, like, Batman
they were
Robin.
extremely gothic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
oh, really?
You know, think of like almost medieval cathedrals.
Really?
You know, Catholic churches.
And it was
Oh,
always
wow.
dark out.
Mm-hmm.
It was rare. It was rare to have a scene in the daytime because they wanted more Batman. While I liked in this new Batman,
Yeah.
it was almost entirely just Batman, and very few scenes you're looking at just Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It really is like everyone knows Bruce Wayne. We came here to see Batman. We've been waiting for this movie for 2 years since the first teaser trailer came out.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to see Batman. It's true.
Well, not only that, but you also saw Batman, like going back on to talking about like all the darkness in the previous movies, but this one showed like amber tones, reds, and blues in the sky.
Yeah.
It showed that Batman, he is still there, like whether it's like dusk or like dawn, like he's still like he's just chilling on a rooftop somewhere.
I do.
It's not just dark.
There were some amazing shots
Mm-hmm.
in this movie. Like,
Oh yeah.
the cinematography, like, is amazing.
Are we gonna
Fucking amazing?
Are we gonna talk about the scene where the chase scene, and then the car's upside down, and the whole scene of the camera's upside down? And then all I'm looking at, to be honest, the whole scene's great. But all I'm looking at is how his cape is blowing in the wind, and I'm thinking, this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But there must be some CGI, or not CGI, but like these guys in green screen suits moving it around. Woo. But I'm thinking, no, I like this. This is a really good shot.
Mm-hmm.
But all I can keep my eyes on was the cape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For some, that was my personal thing.
No, now that you mention it, like, yes, the cape. There's something dramatic about capes, like blowing in the wind. Like, there's some like capes just exude main character energy for some reason.
Yep.
And in that shot, like the upside down, like Penguin, he just looks fucking flabbergasted. And Batman is just slowly walking in the background of like fires and flames and of all the civilians that died.
It's very intimidating.
Yes.
Seeing this, tall figure, silhouette walking towards you, exuding this energy, and you're just upside down in a car, and
Oh fuck!
yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Pissing my pants right now. The Penguin. They call him the Penguin with no context as to why. Obviously, because he doesn't show what everyone in the comics or these original movies in the 90s.
Yeah, he doesn't have a gigantic bird nose.
No, he doesn't.
Wah,
Have,
wah, wah, wah.
not a no monocle, no like really comic characteristic about him.
But he's just called the Penguin.
I don't know why.
I think it's just dramatics.
There,
nicknames.
if there's a scar on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whether or not he was in an accident or not,
Maybe a
before
penguin pecked his face.
possibly.
Possibly.
Or he just
Um,
was a penguin and then he
there-
turned into a human being.
He does have a slight not waddle, but almost like he has like a bum leg. If you
Oh, really?
Mhm.
I don't know if I noticed that.
No, I didn't notice that actually.
Yeah, it's almost like he's not dragging his leg, but
Like a house, like Dr. House, a little bit.
a little
Does
bit.
he have a cane in this one? I
No,
don't
he does
remember.
not.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
Uh,
He was good though.
he was. Johnson,
Johnson.
Mike. He came to the movies with us last Thursday, right?
You saw him in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he noticed one thing when the Batman and Detective Gordon had him on the side, and they were grilling him for the answers, right, for something,
Right.
and then they had him tied up and they left him. And he's like, "You guys aren't gonna untie me?" And you see him. Johnson noticed that he was just waddling. He was jumping
yeah, he
like a
did.
penguin.
Yeah.
And then we're not sure if that was meant to be there, or I feel as though it had to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely an intentional choice. It wasn't like a big thing. They didn't make a big thing out of it.
No.
It was
No.
kind of like a Easter egg.
Yeah, because they want this movie to be actually relatively realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel as though everything here,
Grounded.
yeah,
Very grounded.
very grounded and down to earth when it comes to realisticness. To be honest, I can see any of this actually happening in real life,
Mm-hmm.
other than like some like crazy things, but a guy getting a shotgun straight to the chest and surviving,
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
any broken ribs or
No.
anything. I'm fine, and then proceeds to save even more.
There is a little suspension of belief that needs to happen for any Batman movie.
Yeah.
Like for example, like when Catwoman like kicks, like I feel no power behind those kicks.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I feel as though she's hitting you with your toes. He's like, ow, scraped me a little bit.
Scratched me.
Oof.
I mean her choreography was good.
Yeah.
It's just she's so small. Like I feel it. That's a problem in itself with like women in action movies. Not like there never seems to be any oomph behind their punches and such. Well, there are a few exceptions. Like there's this older movie that I don't know when it came out. It was with Gina Carano.
Okay.
Do you know what movie I'm talking about? It's an action like spy thriller movie with Gina Carano, and she's a UFC fighter. And like it actually, that's one of the few movies where like a
This is
woman is
recent.
able to. It wasn't that recent.
Relatively, like it's in the last 5 years.
No, not last 5 years. Probably more like last 10 years. Gina Carano
We're gonna figure this out.
movie. Haywire, 2011.
Oh, Haywire.
2011.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, with some decent scenes there. It was actually pretty brutal for what it was.
Yeah, so like that is one of the few examples in Hollywood of a woman fighting where it looks effective.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, when like women fight, it doesn't feel strong.
I feel they're strong when the Black Widow is fighting in scenes. She's actually doing these in Avengers.
Okay.
I-
All right. I think I could give you a little bit of that, but like also not entirely. Because there's some moves where yes, like she's on the guy, she's using her weight to like fight people.
You mean
Using weight and momentum and
Yeah.
the grappling.
okay, but not straight power.
But
Okay.
like when she kicks people, like I don't know. As someone who is familiar with kicking things, like I don't feel any. I'm not convinced. Obviously, I can turn my brain off and be like, "Oh, this is a superhero movie." I
Okay.
can turn my brain off,
Yeah.
and still enjoy the movie. But if we're gonna talk about it, that's what I'm talking about.
I think that character was. I honestly think it was done pretty well.
Oh, Catwoman.
I do.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I think it was
Yes.
done well.
Still really
But-
effective.
100%.
Yeah, the her fighting could have used some work. But like her being a cat burglar, I almost think she should use I guess grounded gadgets. Not like
She had her little kit.
yeah, she had kits.
Yeah.
Like maybe more gadget based because the fighting, the kicking
Okay.
might not be the best.
Yeah. We also didn't, not like we needed it, but I feel as though it would be really effective. But we didn't really get a context as to how she became that skilled, where she learned it. We have a glimpse, an idea of how Bruce Wayne learned the stuff, because he said Andy Serkis as Alfred J. Pennyworth said he trained him.
I didn't understand that. Is Alfred badass?
Yes,
Like,
actually. Sorry.
Yeah, I think in modern takes of that character, he's become more of a younger version of like himself, almost like Aunt May in like the Spider-Man series.
Okay.
They keep like making that character younger, more relatable, more in tune with like Bruce Wayne, the Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Because they go from Michael Caine to Jeremy Irons to Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
Going Jeremy, they're all relatively older. Michael Caine's he's in his 80s, I believe. Jeremy Irons is a little bit younger.
Oh, are we having technical difficulties with that? I could pause it. Yeah. And we're back.
Well, and I think yeah, we're back.
We are back. What you were saying? What are you saying?
Well, we were talking about Catwoman. I think, and we went back to visuals and how effective they are as how effective she is as a Catwoman, right? I believe that's where we left off.
Yeah.
All right, so like right off the bat, she's super hot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's her outfits or like, well, it's definitely her outfits, and also the fact that she's super hot. But she seems to have, like, in terms of the relationship between Catwoman and Batman, it feels like she has an emotional edge over him, because she calls him like honey. She calls him like these diminutive like nicknames.
Is this to get him to just do her bidding? Like, they had some sort of romantic connection at the end that was honestly...
they definitely had chemistry. 100%. Like, they were fucking each other with their eyes.
Yeah, but it's also
100%.
He had no emotion the entire... I feel like
I disagree.
It was unprecedented.
He was into her. He was so into her.
Ooh, women, they like me. Been in a cave for so many years.
I've been a sad boy in my man cave for so long. Oh wait, no, we were talking about Alfred.
We were talking about
Alfred.
Alfred.
What we were talking about.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're talking about
Yep.
the fighting. It started with fighting.
Yeah.
How where she got her abilities, but how she learned this.
Yeah, which they did not touch on whatsoever.
Technique, which they didn't.
Which
and
is
they
fine, whatever.
And they gave us a small tidbit on how Batman learned his from Alfred.
Yeah.
And
which is new to me, because like I always thought Alfred was just like the butler, and I didn't realize
I think they've recently
throw down.
Yeah, I don't know how recent it is because of comics wise, but it is canon that Alfred was a special ops agent.
Oh, like British SAS.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I did not know
There's
that.
a show about it actually. It's called Pennyworth.
Yeah, HBO Max.
It's an HBO Max.
Wait,
There's
really?
a show called Pennyworth.
Yep.
It's about Alfred, his time before working with the
Wayne family. Yeah.
What the fuck is
Yeah.
this? What the fucking shit?
Yes.
Former British SAS soldier Alfred Pennyworth forms a security company and goes to work with Bruce Wayne's billionaire father
Yes.
in the 60s. And it's still going on.
Yep, and it is canon because it's HBO, which is Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Right?
Huh.
So I have a feeling that this is what it is. And he felt like, because he had a friendship, a close personal friendship with Thomas Wayne and the Wayne family, he ended up taking Bruce as a son and training him to do these things. To not be a hero, but to just train him. I think it was when Bruce Wayne wanted to do this is when he trained him, maybe, right? I think we'll figure this out eventually.
I think also like to just protect Bruce, like maybe whether or not like self-defense or so he doesn't, become another Thomas and Martha Wayne.
Oh, okay.
Oof.
Yeah, too soon.
Oh wait, can I talk about how Martha Wayne used to be Martha Arkham?
I didn't know this.
They said that in that movie, and I'm like, what? Wait, they said it as if everyone just knows, and I'm like, wait, I didn't know.
I think that's pretty recent. I think
Okay, that's
again,
that's
I'm not
new
a
thing?
I'm not a also avid follower of comics or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that's more of a recent tale on the Wayne family.
I see.
That is a thing that everyone just overlooks. That wait a second, Martha Wayne wasn't always a Wayne.
Yeah, like where the fuck
That's not her.
did she
What is
come
her
from?
surname?
Yep.
Right. What is her maiden? Sorry. What is her maiden name?
And being that the Arkham family was like the other big family in
Yeah,
Gotham.
yeah, it makes sense.
It does.
But also, Martha Arkham does not roll off the tongue.
Mm-mm. No.
It definitely feels like an after fact. Like, hey, what if we made Martha and Arkham? Like, yeah, throw that in there. Let's make that part of the movie.
The guy just wakes up one day. It's like, fuck, Martha Arkham. There we go. That's great.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, to be fair, there have been worse things that have been done with Martha in recent memory. I'm talking about the Batman vs Superman Martha incident. That whole thing.
Do we just become best friends?
Yeah. Wait a second. Your mom's name Martha too? I don't want to kill you anymore. It's like, wait a second though. Why do you want to kill me so bad? I saved the world from pure destruction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I came here against my will, and I had no idea where I was from until recently. And now you're spending the next 3 to 5 years trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Relax, man.
All right,
All right?
I don't want to talk about that. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
That whole thing is so dumb.
Visual effects in the movie is really good.
What, Batman vs Superman?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, if you're watching a CG trailer for a video game, but like,
True.
like you watch a CG trailer for a video game, and you're like, oh, this looks badass, and then you put the same thing in a movie that you paid money to see, and it's been going on for like 2.5 hours, and you're just like, I don't know. That's how I feel about it. When I watch a movie, I would prefer things to be more cinematic than CG-ish. That's all besides the point.
Right.
What I wanted to ask you guys about
We're
was like
veering off.
Alfred Pennyworth. How was he like before Nolan movies? Like, I don't remember. I have zero recollection.
He was just a butler.
He was just a butler, just some old dude
Just a
that
piece of the
hung
furniture.
around the mansion and like
And just knew who Batman was. Yeah.
just like kept the secret. And that that goes back to like how he falls into that whole Aunt May trope where it's just like, oh, just some old person that is part of this superhero's arc, and that's all they are, and they're there, and they sometimes know, and
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, like, I'm glad that they brought him more into the forefront. I think it started with Nolan because, like, what's his name? Michael Caine. Michael Caine had really good lines in that whole trilogy. In the third one, he got a little kind of sad a bit.
Well,
with that. I mean, he's still really good, especially in Dark Knight, like the second one. They had really good conversations, and specifically, I remember him talking about like being in Burma and like, oh, some men just want to watch the world burn. Like, that's an iconic line.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And people then later on have just used it all the time in memes. People use it in their own poetry.
Iconic is just another way of saying memeable.
Yeah.
That's really what that is.
Very true.
Yeah, and then I don't exactly remember too much of Jeremy Irons.
It was really nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like I feel as though they overcasted that whole movie series. Anyway, that the original DCEU was overcasted, and everyone thought we're going to cast people who look like these characters, not like if they can play these characters.
Yeah, a lot of star power, but not like didn't really think about the substance they were actually playing.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
big names don't always correspond to a good movie.
Yeah, you can say, "Well, this superhero or this character has black hair. I'm gonna find the next good-looking black-haired person to play this character,
Yeah.
and they're perfect for the role
Mhm.
because they look like it, not if they can actually be it."
Well, that's a big reason why Matt Reeves didn't actually want to do the Batman. Because
really?
Ben Affleck was originally casted, and it was
Ah.
supposed to
To
be a Ben
redo it?
Affleck. Yeah, it was supposed to be a Ben Affleck movie.
Oh, that would have been terrible. And
the
this is what we saw recently. It would have been not worked at all.
Well, so the original script was out, and Matt Reeves, obviously did his thing, reviewed it, and all that.
Yeah.
And
Kicked it back.
he kicked it back. He said that it was more of a Bruce Wayne movie that had Batman in it, and it was more James Bondish than
Oh.
a Batman film, and he didn't want any part of it. And then once that whole Warner Brothers fiasco happened with Justice League, that movie got canned, and
Yeah.
and then Matt Reeves brought in Robert Pattinson, and here we go.
All right.
That's a good thing, right? Robert Pattinson.
A lot of people gave the movie shit when they found out that it was going to be a Robert.
I originally felt that way,
Mhm.
and then over time, because of how long it was taking, I stopped caring. Like when this movie was coming out, I wasn't excited to see it.
Me neither.
I wasn't excited because, like I've said before, like the DC movies in the last 10 years have been, well, I'd say in the last 10 years, since at least 2016 actually, 2014 when the Man of Steel came out, have been like a bad relationship or a very toxic relationship.
They've either been average or below average, and they build your expectations, and then they just let you down.
Destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the new Suicide Squad was decent.
Exactly. They're getting better. The new Suicide Squad was decent.
Yeah.
Now, how are they going to fit that feeling or that
Is this in the same universe?
I
as
don't
all that
know.
shit?
I think so.
So
I heard differently.
I don't know though. That's the issue because that's what I'm trying to get at. The tone, the undertone, or the overtone in general of the Batman,
Yeah.
which recently came out. Obviously, we're talking about
mhm.
vice or juxtaposed to the Suicide Squad,
Mhm.
Yeah.
2021.
Yep.
Those feelings, those tones are completely different.
Mhm.
I haven't seen the
don't
new Suicide Squad. I haven't even seen the first one. I saw 20 minutes of the first one.
don't worry about that one.
That-
We unfortunately that movie is still part of what has happened. And what I mean,
Canon?
it's canon because they reference the first movie.
Oh.
So
Yeah,
they
but
don't.
is this Batman canon? Or is its own...
So-
Oh, it's going somewhere. You know it's going somewhere because of the previews with the Flash, Aquaman,
Mhm.
and Black Adam. Aquaman has already had a movie, and they've already referenced like what things have happened before. But sorry, no, they haven't referenced things happened before. All I know is that this is gonna have more. It's gonna be more, and I think they're trying to finally take their time with this in like a Avengers-esque,
Yeah.
saga arc or just saga.
I don't know about this franchise itself becoming part of I guess the grand scheme of things. But I do know that the Flash movie coming out is introducing the multiverse of DC
Okay.
lore.
They're going to
and
immediately bring in the Flashpoint.
yeah,
paradox.
basically Flashpoint, and Michael Keaton is coming back to the role of Batman, and he's going to
Really?
introduce
Is this confirmed?
yes. Mhm.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they're going to do this.
Those
Those tones are so different.
When is the Flash
Yeah.
movie coming out?
I
And
still
this is gonna retcon a lot of the
2022.
DCU.
It's coming out in November
Mhm.
2022.
So we won't see Henry Cavill coming back as
Okay.
Superman. We won't
No.
see Ben Affleck coming back as Batman. There'll be a Batgirl. There should be a Batgirl movie releasing on HBO Max. I'd assume probably like 2023, 2024, somewhere around there. But
I don't
who
know how I
knows?
feel about that. I mean, not that. It's just
There are so many. There are 4 DC movies coming out this year.
Yeah.
That's
this
where
year
I'm feeling a
alone.
little weird about because they want to introduce so much so fast.
Yeah. So the Batman being such a grounded take, just like the Nolan films.
Yeah.
I don't know they will go the route of mixing them in because
Yeah.
Michael Keaton being, I guess, the replacement for Ben Affleck and introducing Batgirl as like, I guess, the new person in the Bat family taking over that.
Yeah.
I don't think they need Robert Pattinson in the major DCEU. I think that Batman can just be his own thing, his own grounded take, his own
like a Matt Reeves standalone Batman.
Yeah, Matt Reeves universe.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that too, but I really don't think that's where they're going with it because of what
what
they're doing.
It makes sense though, because
Yeah, but
I just looked it up.
They're
and,
just
like,
caking in the Batman, Black Adam, Aquaman, and the Flash all into a preview for the year. So that's why they're all together.
That might just be all DC properties in general. Just like I'm sure if the Joker came out around this,
it
this
is
time,
not part of DCU.
The
It is
Batman.
not, yeah. This Matt Reeves Batman is not part of DCU. And let me look up.
You're not about to have a DCU without Batman. So you're gonna have
It'll
two
be a different
Batmans?
Batman. It'll
Unless
be Michael Keaton.
unless
It'll be some other guy.
Unless he's part of, like I said, a different universe, and they just totally disregard that universe.
Then I'm not gonna watch that. To be honest,
Matt Reeves, he wanted to divorce the character from DCEU entirely. What else does it say here? Yeah. To that end, the Batman is not part of DCU due to Reeves' insistence on creative control over the story. Fans should not expect to see Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne appear in future DCU movies.
How do they expect the Joker at the end? Barry Keoghan. They're just going to create their own trilogy?
They're going to create their own trilogy.
Which I personally like. I miss the standalone hero epics
I do too.
That were like Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man. You didn't have to worry about, someone else coming in and stealing the show for whatever reason. Oh, we got to introduce this new hero or new villain at the end of the movie because of whatever reason, just to set up some other person's movie. And it's like, I don't know.
They kind of did that in this with the Barry Keoghan Joker thing. They kind of did that.
Is it Keegan or Kogan?
I don't know. He's like British.
It's funny how
I think he's Scottish. I don't know. He's one of them.
It's funny how he recently was just in the Eternals.
Oh yeah, he was in Eternals. Yeah,
and obviously, well, this movie did terrible. I'm out.
I think so. The Eternals, I appreciated more because I saw it on Disney Plus. I didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
And I was already primed by all the bad reviews, so like I had went into it knowing that this is probably gonna suck. But like I watched it, and I'm like, hey, it's not the greatest, but like I had a good time with it.
It definitely
only got a 47% on Rotten Tomatoes in the first 2 days.
It definitely didn't follow
What's it sitting at now?
I think it's still the same.
Yeah, it definitely didn't follow like the MCU recipe book.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
I mean, that's you could give all that to the director, Chloe Zhao.
And I think a lot of the bad reviews from the Batman movie have come from those hardcore.
Oh, this Batman movie?
Yeah, have like come from the MCU era of reviewers that come into a superhero movie expecting to see the generic hero coming into his own villain origin story and then big fight at the end. There wasn't that in this movie.
Can we talk about the big fight at the end in this movie?
Like I was mentioned, there wasn't a big fight at the end.
Yeah, and that's this big fight. It wasn't really a big fight. It was they turned the movie into a disaster movie, which I thought was really interesting.
It was like a horror / disaster movie / like what do you call it, crime noir.
Yeah, crime noir. Definitely crime noir is what we're going here, because it was a legitimate detective film.
Yeah,
it wasn't a horror flick. It wasn't an action flick. It was an action, but what's a movie without a little bit of action?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Right? Any movie has action. Even dramatics, comedies, even freaking Winnie the Pooh Disney movies have some action in it.
Slapstick.
Right? And I guess we're getting at the end is it wasn't. I think it's like alluding to some measure of ideas that they did in Watchmen, Zack Snyder's Watchmen, right? Which is the only Watchmen.
Yeah.
There's a point. There was a part in the movie where it said, Adrian, Dr. Ozymandias. He's like one of the characters in the movie. He's the main villain.
Yeah.
They're in Antarctica and they find out like he's got this. He's gonna trigger this nuclear explosion or this some explosion based off of Dr. Manhattan's power, right? And he says, like, do you think I would waste my time telling you about my plans only for you to foil them immediately? He's like, no, I triggered it 35 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He's like, the world's before you even got here, I've already done everything. And that's exactly what happened in this movie. When you really think that, oh, Batman is on his way to save Alfred, and he's trying to call. I was like, "Oh no, it already happened like an hour ago.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's not dead, but that's what we're going at here. We're not giving you a chance.
Yeah,
We're gonna make you feel like there's some sort of, oh my god, he's almost there. He's gonna save him. No, he didn't do anything.
And with the Riddler, like him realizing what's happening with the Riddler, and then him realizing that, oh, it's too late, and then the explosions happen. Like, he is too late. Like, there is water coming in. Like, people are gonna get washed away.
Well, I think what was cool about that was this whole time the Riddler, in whatever mind state he was in, was legitimately thinking that him and Batman were a team.
Yeah,
like they were
they
were a team going up against like all the corrupt figures in Gotham, and
It's like, I couldn't bring these people into the light.
Yeah.
But you did it.
yeah, and then being so upset and so distraught in Arkham because Batman didn't figure out his final riddle, his final puzzle, and like Batman's like, what do you mean? And then like, oh, it's somewhere back in my pad, and Batman goes back and like is just like chilling there, and then that officer that's guarding the room was like, oh yeah, well, I got a cousin that does carpet work.
Oh, this is very convenient.
Yeah, this very very convenient piece of information that you might need to solve this riddle.
I didn't think of it that
And
way.
then,
but
and then, Batman uncovers the thing, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And
surprise
Yeah.
together.
yeah, and then obviously bombs go off everywhere, and
How did I not know that he was into carpeting? How did I not know this? I'm the world's greatest detective. I can tell that this guy his thumb was removed while he was still alive because of necrosis around the thumb.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell that he was into what this piece of material was for carpeting.
I liked how every riddle, everyone was like, oh, what does it mean? What is it? And Batman would just be like, oh, it's this.
It's this. Like, how do you not know? He's not judging them. He's like, it's justice. What gets wetter as it dries? A towel.
Shit. The Riddler. I feel like I liked him. I liked Paul Dano for the most part, but I do feel like ever since Heath Ledger's Joker, a lot of these like intellectual, like schemy type villains, they all just get Jokerified. And like I feel like this Riddler is a little Jokerified.
I was thinking that too. I was gonna say that. I really was, but
those two characters, the Riddler and the Joker, are extremely similar.
Yeah.
And not just in the movies, but in the comics as well. And for a lot of media, the Riddler has been sidelined because the Joker's so big, and the Joker has like so many big name actors playing him. Or I guess Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger was relatively big when he played him, but he definitely wasn't liked when the casting first came out. But I think the Riddler gets, I don't know, assume that he's Jokerified because they're so similar.
Yeah.
They both have it out for Batman for whatever reason.
He's like Joker light.
Yeah.
Like have you guys ever played the Arkham games?
yeah, I actually recently just finished Arkham Knight.
So I feel like Joker in the Arkham games. Sorry, I said Joker. I meant Riddler. Riddler in the Arkham games has more of an identity separate from Joker.
because he's not technically the Riddler in this game. He's Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, he's because his real name is Alfred Enigma
Oh.
or something. Or Edward. Sorry, Edward Enigma.
Mhm.
Or
Okay,
no,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
Edward Nigma. My bad.
Okay.
And he goes by Enigma.
Ah, I did
Yes.
not know that.
So in this movie, his first name was Edward, but his last name was Enigma.
Nashton.
It was Nashton.
Which
What
I
the
think
fuck?
that's a comic thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just like many villains or whatever, like throughout like years they have like
Yeah.
different aliases and
Oh yeah, like the Joker. His name was Arthur Fleck.
and the
That's
Joker.
his legitimate name.
Really?
In the
Arthur-
movie.
In the movie and in the comics, his original name was Arthur Fleck, but it's also changed since then.
Hmm.
There's been different types of names he's had.
I see.
I think in one of the names, I think in at least in the original Arkham game, Jack White was
Mhm.
obviously not of the White Stripes, but Jack White was one of his aliases.
got this evil villain he can really shred on the guitar. We can talk about.
What have we not talked about so
Well,
far?
we're talking. We're on our way now here to the villain side, and we're talking about the Riddler. And I was talking about
Oh,
to say
wait, can
Paul
we-
Dano.
Okay, yeah.
Like we said, one of the most underrated actors out there.
He's so good.
And obviously, he's
He's
not a
ridiculously
main
good.
character. So he's one of those called, what do you call them?
Character actors?
Like he's a character actor. There's a name for that. I was actually talking about it the other day.
Yeah.
He falls under the same category as J.K. Simmons and original Jim Gordon.
Oh, fuck.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Yep.
Yeah.
It starts, that's the type of actor they are. They're never going to be the main character unless they're doing their own. There's something that they're meant to play.
Okay.
But they're never going to be like that. But they are like one of the biggest parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
Without
They're
them,
very
Yeah.
strong supporting actors.
yes.
Like,
Without them,
yeah.
the movie
falls
doesn't go.
apart.
It falls apart. I mean, imagine this. We're talking about. We said J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons. He was a big deal. He was technically the main character in Whiplash,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
right?
Even though he won for supporting.
He did win the Oscar for supporting actor. But like without him, where's the movie? I don't even if there's another person playing the same character, I don't think they could do it the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you have Gary Oldman, the way he just plays in everything. See him in The Fifth Element.
Yep.
Without him in The Fifth Element, I don't think
Gary
the movie.
Oldman was in a Matt Reeves movie. Gary Oldman was in one of the Apes movies, wasn't he?
He was the bad guy. I think he was the
Yeah.
antagonist in the second one. That was because they led that town.
He was like a military guy.
He was. I think he was like the leader of this like establishment or town that they
Okay.
set up, and obviously had it out for
In the
Apes,
second one,
I believe
because I know in the third one it was
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But that's
okay.
the third one. I can't remember the second one.
The second one, there was like the settlement.
I liked all
believe
of
it though.
them. Yeah.
That series is super like. If we're just going that real quick,
It's underrated.
it's very underrated.
I think the series
It
is
was sleep-
underrated
it was
because
slept
they're
on.
really good movies.
What's
They're
another?
well
that's
made.
Also, Andy Serkis.
Oh yeah,
yes,
playing
that too.
Caesar. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He's like the original like motion
Yeah.
capture like
Yes.
actor.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Schmeagol and
Smeagol.
Caesar and
Yep. And yeah, you never see him as himself until recently. Now he obviously played Claw, and
Mhm.
he played Claw from
oh yeah,
the Black Panther movie.
Okay, I remember that.
Where were we at here? We were
I
talking
don't
about-
know.
You started with. You
Oh
started
yeah,
with,
can we talk about fucking? Was it Falcone?
Oh, yeah.
Falcone.
Mhm.
Falcone.
John Turturro.
John Turturro.
Mhm.
He was really good. I think he's the most villainy villain in
he was
this
just
movie.
cool. He
Well,
was just
yeah.
cool.
He was definitely a standout Falcone character because most movies just portray him as
throw it
like
in.
this like Italian mobster and it's just like
Yeah,
real
yeah.
generic like it's like oh yeah you pull out
Forget about
yeah
it.
exactly
Ah.
just this real stereotype mobster, but
Just wearing the sunglasses all day long.
no, he's just this. He was just real cool, calm, collected, and
There's
just a
definitely
vile, gross dude.
Yeah.
something sinister about that guy. At first, like, because like one of the first times you hear him talk is you don't see him, you see him caressing Zoe Kravitz's face.
Yeah.
Which is gross.
Yes, and I was like,
weird.
oh god, this guy's
But
a scumbag.
He didn't know it was his daughter at the time.
Yeah, it makes it worse.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, that he was really good in that. And did he die? I forget. Did he die or
He died. Yeah,
The
Riddler
The Riddler shot him.
brought the rat out in the light.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
Oh, like the way they, damn. So this movie, there's so much to it, and I believe it deserves more than an 87% in Rotten Tomatoes.
Well,
Why I say that now?
yeah.
Is you're right. You know, these critics, they talk about, they're thinking, oh, we're thinking on that standard set by Marvel Cinematic Universe that we need this. But if you think about it on the standalone Batman type, it was really good. It was just beginning. It was 3 hours.
Well, you also have a lot of critics and people that do submit reviews that are part of Rotten Tomatoes that they've reviewed it poorly because it's not kid friendly for whatever reason. It's like, well, this is a movie.
Oh.
Not every movie has to be catered to a certain audience.
Yeah, our demographic isn't your 5-year-old child that you
Yeah.
want to bring to the movies because you can't find a babysitter.
Can I say, like, this movie? The movie's rated PG-13, but it has an R-rated feel to it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
it was
I mean,
definitely pushing limits.
Yeah.
I think when you see the severed thumb, it wasn't just a thumb; it was a
Oh yeah,
a big chunk.
of the
It
thumb.
was like it was like the whole drumstick.
It was the whole joint,
Yeah.
not just my thumb. Here, let me press it on. No,
Oh.
he had it in a keychain.
yeah, a keychain thumb, a bloody carpet tool.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
now that we know it's a
And-
carpet tool,
and
because probably no one else knew that.
No, I thought this was a blunt object.
I had no idea what that thing was. I'm like, I saw it. I'm like, this looks like one of the like weapons in Clue.
Mhm.
Like, that's what it looks
Yeah.
like. I
Essentially,
don't know what it
I
is.
think that's what it was going for. It was a clue, right?
Mhm.
The movie's like,
I have no
Who
idea what that
killed
thing
him?
is, but it looks heavy and it can probably crack my skull. Sorry, what was I about to say? I was about to say, fuck.
I just ordered a piece of pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I want to talk about the Riddler's kills.
Mm-hmm.
I told you yesterday how like that whole
Yeah.
part of the movie feels like Seven.
Oh yeah.
It
Mm-hmm.
feels like obviously like they're
Always
It's
raining.
a mystery. It's raining, and there's these brutal murders that are happening, and they're not just normal murders. There's like some fucked up shit going on
Mm-hmm.
with like the Saw type traps,
Mhm.
and I just thought that was really cool, and they're really pushing the grotesqueness of it all.
Concur.
And yeah, they somehow kept it PG-13, which is kudos to them. It really sold that part of the movie to me, the brutality of the murders.
I would have preferred it to be rated R. But then again, actually,
It wouldn't
no,
have made as much money.
probably not. As a personal, I think I would have preferred it as rated R. But thinking about it, no, I think keeping it PG-13,
Mhm.
not money aspect, but like just keeping it not as brutal, because you want to be able to watch this thing without feeling like, should I feel ashamed watching this brutal stuff happening?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You know, a severed thumb. You know, I think that's the extent of the gore that you needed in.
Yeah, you kind of get the gist because severed thumb,
Yeah.
severed thumb.
Yeah, you don't need the Batman saying "fuck this, fuck that."
Yeah.
We gotta find this fucking Riddler.
This doesn't need to be the Peacemaker series on HBO Max.
What maker?
The Peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
It's from once you watch the Suicide Squad, you'll understand. They made a show about one of the characters, a spin-off show from the characters of the movie.
Oh, is it bad?
No, it's all right.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
What TVMA?
Yeah, it's
Ah,
mature.
all right.
It's like it's raunchy,
Yeah.
Okay.
and it's John
And
Cena.
and it's DC.
This DC,
DC
and it's
property.
also
John Cena.
yeah, and it's also canon. It's just whatever they're trying to do here.
I feel like the world doesn't like John Cena as much anymore. Like, did something happen? Like, did he have a scandal or something? Or
No, the world thinks him fine. They just don't.
Really?
They never assumed him to be some crazy big actor because he's WWE.
no, because I remember like Reddit used to be on John Cena's dick, and then I haven't seen much of that
Well,
since. So I don't know if something happened.
I think he's doing a decent job trying to do better. I find him
I mean,
an entertaining person.
I think he's always been entertaining and a decent guy.
I wouldn't say he's an
but I
amazing
just
actor though.
I just haven't seen him on Reddit as much.
Oh,
Him
just-
and The Rock.
Today, then I challenge you to watch The Suicide Squad.
Am I
good.
gonna understand it if I haven't seen Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
seen
just-
Justice League.
just-
I haven't seen anything.
You could go into this blind. It's just think of a ragtag team of B-list supervillains.
Okay.
And they're going to.
Is Harley
go-
Quinn in this?
Yes.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not the biggest
It's
fan.
fine.
yeah.
It's
You
fine.
kind of get over.
You're not the
over
biggest
it.
fan because of all those people who wear those Halloween costumes.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind that because Harley Quinn is skanky hot, which I appreciate. What I don't appreciate is she's just annoying. Like that's what I don't appreciate.
What,
I couldn't stand her in Suicide Squad,
Mhm,
and didn't she come out with her own standalone movie?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Ah,
not good.
okay.
It was the power empowering type thing.
Oh,
It could have been good.
okay.
It could have, but I think it was a lot of the Warner Brothers, DCU. Let's crank out this movie to make some money.
It was just it was a cash grab.
It was
That's all
supposed to be. It was supposed to be a Birds of Prey movie about a strong female-led team
Okay.
of DC super heroines, and instead they made it a movie about Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
for a cash grab.
So wait, what's Birds of Prey? What is that?
Think of a team led by Gotham superheroes that are women, such as like Batgirl,
Okay.
Oracle, Huntress, and
And
Throwing Harley Quinn?
The
Black
Black
Canary.
Canary.
Mm-hmm.
Is Harley Quinn? Harley Quinn's a villain.
Yeah. Well, up until recently, she's more
Yeah, they-
anti-hero.
All right.
She's an
Almost-
anti-hero. That's like everybody in this
Which I
Suicide
don't.
Squad.
Which I don't understand. Like she killed people with Joker. Like that's.
Yes,
Mhm.
and now she is changing her ways because
I
she
think-
only did that because
I
she was under the whimsical,
Influence
spell and
of-
influence
of
the
Joker.
romanticness coming from,
Well,
the Joker.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah. I'd say
Yeah.
that's exactly
I think-
what that is.
I think Margot Robbie has. It's incredible the way that she. 'Cause I feel like she has a big hand in that change. Like if any other actress was like she really carries Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Margot
Mhm.
Robbie. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's a
The
lot of it.
character's
is
not bad.
contributed to her.
It's just everything around her. The writing.
Mm-hmm.
I think again we talk about the writing is what makes something terrible. You can have
Yeah.
a bad actor, but good writing and a good director can make the movie good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A good actor, but a bad director, movie's gonna be bad
Every time.
every single time.
Yeah.
But a bad writing, bad acting, but good soundtrack, the movie can stand the test of time.
I like the soundtrack. I liked it. I think at first when I saw the trailer, I thought the soundtrack was too heavy-handed. I thought it was trying too hard
For
Mhm.
the Batman,
for the Batman.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. And like when I first heard it in the trailer, I'm like, where have I heard this from? And I sent you this video. There's a
Oh, yeah,
video
yeah.
that intersplices the Batman theme from this movie with the Imperial March from Star Wars.
Okay.
And it's eerily similar, and it's actually ridiculous. I'll text you that
Mhm.
video later. But the soundtrack is definitely iconic because like it has. Oh, are you gonna play it?
Well, I was trying to figure out the name of the song, that new theme song for the new Batman.
I don't know the name of it, but just play the YouTube
Something
video.
in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Play the YouTube video. That
Oh
that I
yeah,
text-
yeah. I'm gonna find it
texted
right
you.
now. Hold up.
Let me make sure. Hopefully, it doesn't blast our ears.
Let's see. I gotta find it. There we go.
Are we connected? Are you?
Oh wait. Oh duh. Here it is. We should be connected.
All right. Ah, yes.
Oh, ad time.
Yeah. I think that was my favorite part of the movie.
You can hear it. The Imperial March.
Oh yeah.
And then he adds.
Oh
this.
wow.
It goes on for 5 minutes. But yeah, that's the basis of it. That's the basis of what he's
Yeah.
trying to get at. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Imperial March, and from Star Wars, and they obviously added.
Yeah, overlapped.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like necessarily bad that they're so similar. It's just something that like I guess my ears pricked up when I heard it. The actual soundtrack, I think it's fine. It's certainly iconic. Like I can hear it in my head after I walk out the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
yeah.
which song from the whole soundtrack that you said was from Wonder Woman?
Okay, so that song, the middle of that song, it has chord progressions that are very similar to the ones in Wonder Woman.
Oh,
And I wouldn't be surprised if like they cut and paste some stuff in there. But yeah.
damn, I really have a hard time believing this is not going to be part of the DCU, only because I want it to be, but I also don't know how they can.
It doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
But I personally, I don't care if it is or isn't.
Yeah.
But personally, I just want it to be.
Why though?
If it's not, that's fine.
Why?
I think the Batman as standalone has so much rich storytelling potential, and I don't think it needs to be polluted by a bland chicken noodle soup metropolis. I don't think I need to see.
But no, I
Superman,
think
know.
they really just want to start something new and bring something. They really want to just do this right by the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They really want to like do a DC thing, much like what the MCU has done. Everyone loves that. They love crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
It's also really good for money.
They do like it, but like when you think about it, it's like it's a cheap thrill.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it takes you zero effort, zero creativity. It's low hanging fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, like we all love it because like who doesn't love a good crossover?
I think you only think that because of way it has been the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, no, well, what do you
10
mean by
years.
that? Because like I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I really like how they were able to bring it all together, but at the same
But you
time,
like it like that because it has been like that for the past 12 years.
okay.
And it's all you've known. And when it
Well,
comes to
that's not
Marvel, that's the
true.
way it's all been. The only thing that has
Yeah.
been different has been Spider-Man. That's because it's just different companies.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that's true.
I mean, think about it. Every Marvel movie you've seen now has been part of the MCU. Is now everything's all now part of the
Yeah,
MCU
yeah.
Now,
Technically.
yeah, with the multiverse.
with the multiverse and the fact that Disney all is the overlord Disney has has bought everything. Oh, this just Disney has bought Jesus Christ, and now your religion means nothing.
well, think about it. Have you seen the new Boba? You have seen the new Boba. Fett.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
have.
and you're all caught up in Boba Fett. You're the one
Yeah.
who told me to watch it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's
I don't. So like an example of, like for example, the episode where it's just Luke and Grogu
Mm-hmm.
on their training island.
Yeah.
Like, why is that there?
Well, it's set up Mandalorian season 3. That's why.
that's just the whole this whole season is like, damn, we need some better ideas
Yeah,
for
it's-
season 3.
We need some. This has been a big whole filler season where it's like, oh, we just need to hold these people over.
I think what happened was during
That's so cynical, but it's so true. Oh my god.
during the writing and shooting of Boba Fett, a guy came in and like, shit, I have good ideas now. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't put this in. We're not gonna do any more Never mind. No, forget Boba Fett. We're just gonna keep doing
Does-
the Mandalorian.
Does Boba Fett why does he seem like he never struck me as a noble person? Like in the original 1970 1980s Star Wars, he never struck me as like, oh, this man is a man of virtue.
The guy
He
was
has a
in
code. I'm like,
one
no.
movie.
Two.
Two movies. Sorry.
Two, yeah.
He was in episode.
He died in the beginning of Return.
Yes, he was on episode 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Had like maybe like 3 or 4 lines.
Yeah. And obviously, the reason why there was such a big following on him
Yeah.
was because, like, wow, he's one of the characters, probably the only character that actually stands out from everybody else.
He looked
Huh.
cool.
He looked cool.
Yeah.
He was a real quiet, stoic. Like he was basically like
He
you
could
know.
fly. He had a
opposite
rocket. He had a
yeah.
gun.
Mm-hmm.
He was green.
Wait, did he actually fly
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he flew
in
He did.
in the original movies?
Yeah.
Well, he flew
into a
What?
Starlight.
into a Starlight. He flew once, and that was it. And then up until like the prequels came out, and you saw his dad Jango Fett,
Yeah.
and you know he flew all over the place.
Yeah,
But
he had way more control over
Yeah.
over the power of flight than he did.
you really wouldn't know that if you saw the Book of Boba Fett, because I don't think he flew once.
Do you know?
And if
no,
yeah,
he did.
I think he did in the finale,
in
but
the very end.
yeah,
In the last fight.
he probably could have
That-
used that a couple more times.
He technically flew at the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian
Yeah,
when he
Yeah.
came back and helped him out with killing off that giant.
Listen, man, we only have the budget for one flying scene per season.
Because we're using real rocket technology here, obviously. Because
The Rancor, the thing with the Rancor, like that,
oh, I love how they brought the Rancor to life.
I like that, but at the same time, like what the way they try to dogify Rancors, like
Oh, they make the
Mhm.
Rancor he imprints on one person versus his life.
and
That's
like
just-
and
he
they
stays
start
blind.
and they pet the Rancor, and I'm like, is this truly George Lucas's vision?
Oh,
Like-
so George Lucas likes he likes a good like cute creature.
yes,
I mean that he was like all in for Ewoks and all
Yeah.
in for a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
like just not the greatest I guess great creatures like Jar Jar Binks. That was George.
Yep.
You know, but the
But-
dogifying he probably was okay with it. But I think it makes the Rancor look like less intimidating,
Yeah,
like less
yeah.
scary.
True. It also made the Rancor look like this Rancor is supposed to be like a baby, right?
Okay.
Compared to the one that they killed in Return of the Jedi.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, right? It was episode 5, right? Yeah, Rancor.
Yes.
And was this Rancor supposed to be bigger or smaller? I think it was a
I don't know.
it was a baby, right?
Who knows, man? Like, I think a lot of the shit in the original trilogy, like they weren't thinking like, oh, we're gonna make this a triple trilogy. Like nobody was thinking that at the time.
Yeah.
And George Lucas wasn't thinking that at the time. So like they were just like doing things.
It's like, man, I just need some money
Mhm.
right now. This is some good shit. I mean, let's make something out of it. 70s is a crazy time. People are. What is the 70s? People were just high on drugs all the time and
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
smoking weed and going to parties.
yeah, and putting Harrison Ford in random movies apparently.
Hey, look at me. I'm the
Yeah.
only person whose career wasn't completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Not true. Everyone, I like that joke that Family Guy made about it because they said, "Hey, I'm Harrison Ford, and I'm the only guy whose career hasn't been completely destroyed." That's not true, though. Mark Hamill's career was
he's had
amazing.
a very good voice acting
Yeah,
career.
his voice acting career is incredible.
He is the Joker. He is the Joker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
be honest.
Hmm.
And I don't know what Carrie. What's her last name? Carrie
Fisher.
Fisher.
Carrie Fisher.
Her daughter.
Has she been doing things?
Well, she's passed away.
Well, no, yeah, I knew that, but I'm saying like after Star Wars,
In between
She was in.
1976,
the original trilogy. Like, has
2017.
She had a very small part in the Blues Brothers.
Okay.
Did she?
Yeah, she was. I think either the.
With John Belushi?
Yeah, she was either the estranged girlfriend or wife of John Belushi,
Oh.
and she showed up at like the very end of the movie, and I think she fired like a rocket launcher
Okay.
at some point during the
I think
movie.
I remember that.
I've never
Yeah.
seen this movie.
You're not missing out, but it's
Yeah.
Okay.
it's another SNL film type thing.
Ah,
Yeah, Carrie Fisher. I don't know really much of what else she's been in other than Star Wars and
Do you know her daughter was in the Star Wars films?
Really?
Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I didn't even know she had a.
Yeah, she has a
daughter.
daughter. She doesn't go by the last name Fisher because her father
Oh.
is her name. But
I see. Okay.
I don't. I can't name the name of the character. To be honest, like obviously the last 3 movies were just phoned in completely.
Mm.
I disagree. I think episode 7 was good.
I think so too.
I will always stand by episode 7.
I will too, but most people hated it.
I think they're stupid.
I think they're stupid. I think.
I don't even think episode 8 was as bad as everyone said.
I also liked episode 7.
8. I don't. So 7, I'll always stand by.
Oh, yeah.
8, I can understand why people have problems with 8, but I didn't think it was as bad as everyone said it was. 9, 9's awful.
That one
Yeah.
was like everyone was like, we got to figure out what we're gonna put together. They need a movie. We're on a deadline. Let's figure this out. CGI.
They knew that people didn't like 8, so we're like, all right, whatever happened in 8, we're gonna do the opposite.
And it's what HBO does. They did what HBO does to last seasons
Game
of
of Thrones.
shows. They're just
Mhm.
like, people are gonna watch this anyway. Let's put in less writing, less effort, and just make money off of it.
Yeah.
That's what HBO has been doing forever.
Isn't there a new Game of Thrones like series?
It's gonna be Amazon.
Like it's
Amazon Prime.
Amazon. What?
Amazon's doing it. They bought it out. They bought out the rights.
Really?
Wait, to Game of Thrones?
Game of
Oh,
Thrones.
I'm dumb. I was
That's
stupid.
The Lord of the
I was
Rings.
thinking
Oh, you're thinking Lord of the Rings?
My bad.
Oh,
Game of Thrones. I think it's a prequel
with
series
the
for
Targaryens, right?
Targaryens. Yeah, House of
Yeah.
Dragons.
Disregard.
Hopefully, it's good.
Already ruined.
We'll see.
everything.
I'm currently on I think season 2
Of what?
Game of Thrones.
Oh wait, you're just starting it?
just starting.
Is it? It's good, right?
It's so good.
It's.
I mean, up until now.
I wish I was you. I wish I had the.
I wish I could forget it all myself
yeah.
and just
what
start
what
over.
spoilers are you aware of?
Aware of?
Yeah.
I know of a thing called the Red Wedding,
Do you
and
know what it is?
I don't know what it is.
Okay,
I
alright.
know
good.
it's pretty important. I know it's pretty crazy.
Okay. All right.
I know whenever they're gonna mention a red wedding, I'm gonna have to prepare myself. That's what I've been told.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, but dodging spoilers, obviously, with everything being released, and
It's actually crazy that you don't know more about it.
Yeah, well, to be honest-
Kudos to you.
With
for-
a show that's 11 years old,
yeah,
Yeah. Oh wow.
it's
yeah.
if somebody were to ruin it for you and you get mad, you can't be mad at that.
oh no,
So you
At
don't
this
know
point, it's
any
your
other
fault.
spoilers besides like
The Red Wedding.
existing.
no, there is I know of like the season 8, a lot of season 8 spoilers because
Yeah.
obviously being the most recent season and being the season that most people are upset about.
Mhm.
Obviously Arya, was it? I think she kills the. I don't even know the guy's name because he hasn't been
All right,
introduced
she
yet.
kills somebody.
She
Okay.
kills
Kills
someone.
somebody.
She kills
Alright.
someone that I don't know the name of yet because I haven't got there.
All right.
But I know that happened, and I know a lot of people are upset about
But
it.
as
So
soon as you learn of this, how important this character is, you're gonna
I didn't. I
boom,
didn't
Yeah.
even
you know.
mind it when that happened. But anyway,
yeah.
I don't want to.
The last
We
season,
don't need to get into it too much.
no one cares about. No one. Really,
However,
yeah.
the series, it. Oh my god, it's so hard to talk about it because of season 8.
mhm.
But if I were to erase season 8 from my brain, then yeah, no, I would recommend it to everybody.
Mhm.
Game of Thrones, everybody should watch it.
What if they just
Just
redid season 8?
Oh,
Like, we're
God.
just
It
gonna
was all-
It'll
It's
never.
all a bad dream.
It was all a bad dream.
So Jon Snow wakes up. Oh, my
shit.
god. Oh,
Wait, so
what quotes do you know? There's a lot of quotes from the show that are quotable. Iconic.
He's only on season 2.
Season 2. So there's obviously winter is coming, and
Okay.
like
Okay.
the generic.
Okay, yeah, that's
Um,
literally the first episode of season
yeah.
1.
Do,
Pretty
do
sure.
you know? Do you know? Has anyone said you know nothing, Jon Snow?
Yeah.
Has anyone said that yet?
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah, that's been said.
Okay.
Well, I can't even remember the
What
the
part are
leader
you
of
on?
the
Like
Night's Watch.
what's the last episode you watched?
The last episode.
Like what happened?
So the last episode, actually, I think I just finished season 2.
Okay.
I did, yeah, because
What happened? At
the
end?
last episode, Jon Snow got taken by the wildlings,
Oh,
and this was when he was part of the Rangers,
yes.
and he left like his old job behind. But his three buddies that he left behind were like digging a latrine out in the snow, whatever,
Yeah.
and they heard like one blast of the horn, which I think means that a ranger is returning, and then they like stand around like, oh, whatever, and then they heard the second blast of the horn, they're like, oh, wildlings are afoot. They're like, okay, we should be wary, and then a third blast comes along, and like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah.
This is
White
like
Walkers?
that's White Walkers, yeah.
White Walkers.
So
I don't remember that at all. I
Mhm.
mean, the Game of Thrones. They're always
Yeah.
so good
Well-
at like hyping. Like they're so good at hyping.
mhm.
But so he's already in possession of the wildlings at this point.
So now I know that.
Oh.
Okay.
Um,
Oh fuck.
um,
Oh, fuck.
He's getting taken to the wildling. I guess their I don't know, their kingdom, their village or whatever. I don't really know.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that early in the show.
It was season.
It happens pretty early.
Yeah, into
I can't
season
remember-
2.
I can't believe it.
Did he meet? Does he meet his wildling chick yet?
Yeah, I mean, I'd assume that they have like a lot of sexual chemistry, so that would make
Okay.
sense.
I love her.
Um,
His actual.
Nah, they dated, but they're
Okay.
not. Yeah.
I thought they were actually
um,
married in real life.
No, I thought it was funny because like obviously a third blast of the horn,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh,
Hello.
like White Walkers are coming,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and like these three guys are like, oh shit, and they start like running, and the two more fit dudes just book it and leave their like heavy set friend in the dust, and they're just like, yeah, fuck that dude, and
Wait, is it Sam?
yeah, Sam,
Oh shit.
Sam, which
Poor
obviously,
Sam.
Huge
but
deal.
yeah,
Poor Sam.
he's just like left there, and all these White Walkers come, and he's just hiding behind a rock, and this dude, this like,
Oh, they are married, by the way.
oh,
Yeah,
nice,
so-
Looked it
Okay.
up.
Good
Yeah,
for-
married in real
Yeah,
life.
but they
Good.
had a son in 2021.
good for them.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, poor Sam. So that's where I am.
Damn, how we.
All right.
a good
You're in for a
segue.
treat, dude.
Yeah.
Like the series is really, especially the early seasons, are so good.
Yeah.
So good. I think there's some questionable episodes, as in like season 5 and season 6. Season 7 definitely mixed. Season 8 universally reviled.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're not going to be able to stop watching. For the most part,
Mm-hmm.
the series definitely grabs you. Should we we're an hour and 22 minutes in. Should we wrap this up?
Probably should wrap it up.
Wrap it up then.
I think. All right. How about this? Let's go around the table and we'll just give our personal take on the Batman, short as possible, to the point as possible. I'll start. I liked it. I think the 3-hour runtime maybe a little too long. I think they could have chopped off a couple minutes here and there. But I love the feel. I love Robert Pattinson. I thought Zoe Kravitz super hot, ridiculously hot. It's one of the things that looms the biggest in my mind. I recommend it.
I personally liked it. I think it was a fresh take on multiple characters, being that as a lot of lore. Jeffrey Wright, I think, is one of the biggest standouts. His
Yeah,
character.
We didn't talk about Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon, I mean, obviously has come up like Gary Oldman. It almost seemed that he perfected that role, but Jeffrey Wright brought in a whole
Yeah.
new level of just an unexperienced police lieutenant.
Yeah, like I love how he was like constantly feeling at wit's end about
Mhm.
shit.
And having to defend like this, like how
Yeah.
crazy it would be to defend some dude in a bat costume to like your buddies.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, listen, seriously, you guys should listen to this guy for real. No
Think
joke.
about it. This guy in this day and age, like a guy who looks like this,
Mm-hmm.
probably, to be honest, I think you should trust him. Like,
Yeah.
because there must be a reason why he's dressed like this.
Well, we'll segue on that too. Like a very first few scenes of the Batman, you see like
Yeah.
these gang members beating up this dude from the train,
Yes.
and you just hear Batman come out, and you gotta imagine like you're just like standing there, and you see some dude just walk out of the shadows in a bat costume, and you're like, okay,
So, dude.
yeah, what's up? What? No, go back to my I guess my review.
Sorry.
No, it's I think it was a good movie. Good new, fresh takes. I thought it was a little long. They probably could have got their point across in a shorter time. Um, yeah, I can't really compare it to other Batman movies because it's not like any other Batman movie.
Yeah.
I agree. My overall feeling of the movie, if I could rate it, definitely 8.5 out of 10 compared to
I can
original,
agree with
like
that.
in the last, since 2016's Batman, from Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice.
God awful.
God awful. That's a negative 12 out of negative 5. Just movie itself is really good. Yes, I also agree with it. A little too long, but I think they really just needed to start out strong.
Yeah.
There's a lot to explain, and I think that doing it an hour and a half or even 2 hours might not have been good. Yeah, I think they would have been condensing too much material, just to not know what they were doing with it. I think they really want to get out as much as possible.
I see.
Think about it, like Lord of the Rings. Each movie is 3 hours long, without
Give or
extended.
take. Yeah.
With the extended cuts are 4.5 hours long each movie, right?
That's a whole separate
Yes,
conversation. That's
that's
we can get into the weeds about that.
feels though we have to be talking about a week to understand, just scratch the surface. So yeah, 3 hours long, maybe too long, just because nobody wants to sit there for 3 hours. But if the movie is good enough,
Yeah.
you don't even feel like it's 3. I did not feel like the movie was 3 hours
agree.
long.
I think the editing was decent.
That's
It like my gripe with the 3 hour runtime, it is like nitpicking at the highest level. Like it honestly didn't bother me that much. But if you had a gun to my head and told me to nitpick something, that is what I would point
Yeah.
out.
Oh, of course.
Same.
And the last thing I'll stretch on here is those small things, small add-ons to the comics themselves, like how your other friend who was in the movie with us who
Yeah.
mentioned
It's you.
when Batman was literally he's dying on the ground there, and then
Yeah.
what's her name's being choked out. Catwoman was being choked out,
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
dying. He takes out this vial of green, whatever the hell,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
injects it into an actual circle meant for it, right?
Yes.
Which you think, oh wow, that's probably adrenaline. But no, he mentions that it is the venom,
Yeah.
Bane's venom. That you don't even recognize. No one mentions it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It isn't even a thing.
Because it's
Unspoken.
it's almost like assumed what it is.
You just assumed what it is. I didn't initially assume that until somebody had to
I
brought
didn't know what it was till you guys brought it up. Yeah.
It was Bane's venom.
It's interesting.
It's 100% what it was. It gave him the strength he needed, and he was pissed. He was angry. He was instilling. The fact that guy, his face wasn't caved in, proves to you that's PG-13. Because rated R, that guy wouldn't even have a face,
No.
right? He wouldn't have a face. It would be gone. The cling wrap would have been hanging underneath in his cavern of a face. He was any person. This guy, he's taking buckshots, double-aught bucks to the chest.
Yeah.
And then comes out and starts pounding your face. Everyone just walk away. The guy almost risked being electrocuted. The whole. Oh God, the movie's so good.
Yeah.
I think it deserves more than 87% Rotten Tomatoes, 91%, depending on obviously the math of it.
Yeah.
But still, movie's really good, and I'm glad that I wasn't hyped for this movie.
Yeah, no,
I think
that played into it too.
Yeah, I went in with a pretty blank slate.
Yeah.
I was thinking this is going to be an average movie. It turned out to be well above average.
The movie caught me right in the beginning. Because like it kind of tricks you, because like you see this rich couple and a kid and you're like, oh, we're gonna see
this story again.
we're gonna see this again. But no, it's not. It's some other random politician guy, and it's the first of the Riddler kills. And just like the scene where the guy is pacing in front of the TV watching the election results or whatever, and Riddler's in the back. You don't know he's Riddler at that point. Just some guy, some like creepy guy in a mask, and he just kind of appears and like
chills.
Yes. And like it actually took me a second to see him there because of how dark it was. But as soon as like you can see the TV reflect off his eyes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they're kind of glowy eyes
Mhm.
a little bit.
I think you definitely, if you were paying attention,
Yeah.
you would have noticed him there. But the camera works, or you're thinking, oh, this guy who's a walk the politician,
Yeah.
he's the biggest deal here.
Yeah,
you-
that's where the focus should
The
be.
focus was there,
Mhm.
but really, the guy who's been standing there the entire time.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I'm sure we could talk more about this,
Definitely
but
can.
we are gonna call it quits here. I think for the most part, we all liked the Batman, so we're just gonna put that in there.
like that.
We liked it. It was
Yeah.
good. All right. I guess this is where we end it.
All right, that was
Well,
good. I liked it a lot.
One
Yep,
day
yep.
we'll think of how to end our podcast, but for
Yeah.
now we're just gonna press the button.
All right.
Yep.